Imagine for a minute that you are fresh out of college and about to teach juvenile offenders for the first time. They range from being runaways to murderers. This is what it's like when you're a new teacher beginning your career at the Kansas Juvenile Correctional Complex school. It's a frightening thought, and therein lies the problem. In my opinion, no amount of education can prepare new teachers to effectively manage this population's behavior in this particular environment. I thought that the most effective way to solve the problem was to develop a tutorial that instructs new teachers in how to use the progressive discipline system employed at our school to manage behavior. I used the ADDIE model as a roadmap to help organize my thoughts and create the product. In the first phase of the ADDIE model, I collected data for the needs analysis. I interviewed our only new teacher, Mrs. Wilkins, and the principal of our school, Mr. Nielsen. When I questioned her during our interview, she expressed a strong desire to learn how to more effectively manage her class. My principal also stated that he believed new teachers had more difficulty learning to properly manage students than any other issue they face. After establishing the expressed need, I conducted a learner analysis, a task analysis, and finally a contextual analysis. Once the analysis phase was completed, I had a clearer picture of the instructional problem, the objectives needed to address the problem, the learning environment, and the learner's knowledge and skill level. It was during the design phase that I decided to create a 3-part tutorial. Message, design, learning sequences, and outcomes would be incorporated into the product. The first part of the tutorial would explain what, when, and how to use the 4 consequences found within the progressive discipline system model. The second part of the tutorial would test the trainees' knowledge by having them take a 10-question quiz over the material they just learned. Finally, in the third part, I would use small video clips from the French film The Class to create instructional scenarios that modeled acting out behaviors in the classroom. Their assignment in this section would be to use what they've learned to assign the proper consequence to each acting out scenario they viewed. New teachers will experience very similar problems in their own classrooms, so this section of the tutorial attempts to bring real-world experiences to their understanding and knowledge. I decided that I would utilize computer-based media as my vehicle to deliver the tutorial. It would be placed on our network server and would function as a primary teaching tool for new staff while remaining accessible to all. In the development phase, I designed a storyboard with script narration that helped me organize my thoughts and visualize how I wanted the tutorial to look. During the selection phase, I examined a number of different visual tools to incorporate into the video. I chose various clip art to use in the first part of the tutorial because I wanted to lighten the mood somewhat. This was done consciously because the information in the tutorial might be intimidating. I also showed the 4 consequent forms that the school uses to document acting out behaviors and, as I mentioned previously, some video clips. During the implementation phase, I surveyed the learning environment or workroom. I found the office to be well lit with 4 computers that have flat screens and speakers. As I mentioned earlier, the product uses computer-based media that is housed on the school's network server. After the tutorial was placed on the server, Mrs. Wilkins was asked to take the tutorial, which she did without incident. During the formative evaluation phase of the process, I interviewed Mrs. Wilkins and asked her questions about her experience, training, and comfort level using the progressive discipline system model. I also presented her with a formative evaluation questionnaire after she completed taking the tutorial. She had a few suggestions to make the product better. With that in mind, I rewrote the verbal reprimand part of the tutorial so it was more easily understood. I improved the graphics and made them less fuzzy, and I increased the volume on the audio portion of the tutorial. Finally, I also upgraded the video quality of the AVIs I use from 150 kbps to 400 kbps in Flash. This improved the video clips and helped to make them clearer. After taking the summative evaluation, which was a survey, the trainee expressed that she indeed felt better prepared to manage students in her classroom. She stated that the tutorial was easy to navigate around in and that the graphics enhanced her experience. She believed that the questions were appropriate for the information she learned and that the video clips help her assess her knowledge of when to use each consequence. Finally, she thought that the tutorial provided useful information and that after watching it, she felt much more comfortable and knowledgeable about how to use the progressive discipline system model.